What's up, y'all? Yes, it is super late, um, but I hope y'all can hear me. So I had a message that has been coming through to me like all day today, and the intention was to write the message down and to post it for you all. But ever since the live last night, I'm still having trouble posting, and I'm still having trouble, like the analytics. It just looked mad weird. I'm not sure what's going on right now. So I decided to jump on here tonight to do this. Peace, Terica. Hey, sis. How are you? You see, we made you a moderator, girl. There was no way we weren't going to make you a moderator. I was like, yeah, it's time to go ahead and do that because we definitely need moderators because we're starting to get trolls. And we're starting to get people who are making people feel like this spiritual path is the wrong path to be on. And we can't have that. We got to protect this. This is sacred spiritual work that's going on. So, yeah, that's good. That's good, Terica. I email you your reading, girl. Can't wait to hear back from you and tell me what you think. So it's 6 people in here. Okay, 4 people. Okay, it's going up and down. Okay, cool. I wanted to wait a minute before y'all got in here because I'm going to do a channeling before I go to sleep. And so you might want to jot this down. I don't know if it resonates with you. Write it down because it's finna get deep. And you're finna get some deep answers to some things that maybe it have been on your mind as well. And so if I don't see your comment, if you put something up in the chat and I don't respond to it, it's not that I'm ignoring you, but when I start channeling, I have to really, really go into a trance-like state where I can receive because this information is just coming to me. This is not stuff that I previously knew before I got on live. Ernest don't even know I'm doing this. He's upstairs putting the baby to sleep. So okay, here we go. So today I had a moment of experiencing what we are feeling as a collective. So I know this is going to resonate with y'all, okay? So today it was like really gloomy. Today felt like a dense day. I don't know any other way to describe the density of the day. Almost like the day was dragging. And I couldn't figure out what it was. It was a day where I was really having to consciously like watch my vibration and try to hang on to the vibration that is beneficial and positive. So I was having to the thing about awakening, you can't be in an automatic state of mind anymore. You can't be autonomous. You can't follow a program. It's manual labor. So manually, you have to go into the files within your mind and start addressing the things that you know are programs, whether you were raised by a narcissistic parent, whether you have been in relationships with narcissists, the indoctrination, all of that creates programs in our minds. And today, for some reason, it seems on a collective level, all of us have had at least one thought throughout the day that was non beneficial and probably made you feel some kind of way for a moment. And some of you may have even gotten stuck in a thought, hold on, y'all, this fireplace is super hot. Let me cut this heat down a little bit. Oh my goodness. I'm about to burn up. Okay. So, so this is what happened. I'm going to get really, really personal with y'all. I mean, we family. We can do that here. That's what we do. So today, it rained really, really hard. And it was really strange. It was thunderstorms all day today. Thunderstorms. And so my daughter wasn't feeling too good this morning, so I kept her at home. And on days that it rained, those days I'm usually experiencing a lot of physical pain. So I was like, you know what? It's no point me getting out in this 30-degree weather, and it's pouring out thunderstorm, but 30 something degrees. It's just really crazy weather. So I was like, I'm not gonna get out. I'm gonna stay in, and just do what I do. So I'm going through the emails. I'm responding to some of you guys. I tried to do everybody reading from last night who sent the donation. If I didn't do your reading, please just email me and let me know. And let me know what your name is on Cash App or PayPal so that I can go ahead and do that for you. So all of a sudden, I have this really heavy feeling come over me that's like, yeah, y'all talk all of that shit about manifesting and wanting to change, but you all can't even master your damn self. You can't even master your own thoughts. You can't even master your attitude. You can't even master your vibration. You don't even know how to be a thermostat. You don't know how to set a temperature and hold that temperature. And like, it was true shit, but it was coming at me in a way that was like very critical. And I was like, damn, like, I'm trying. I'm trying. Ease up on me. I'm trying. And so, I was just like, okay, what is going on? Why all of a sudden, the shadow work that I've been doing and the stuff that I'm aware of, all of a sudden is hitting me at one time, and I'm feeling really bad about myself. Like what is this? And so my spirit guides was like, this is happening to the collective. I was like, so you mean to tell me everybody today is being triggered? Like, not like surface level triggers, not like somebody did something when you was driving home from work trigger, like core wounds, like deep, deep pain, deep triggering, unexplainable. You having a hard time holding your peace. You don't feel at ease. You feel like you in fight or flight, but you don't know why. It's really nothing happening in that moment for you to feel that level of anxiety. For some of you, it could be nervousness. For some of you, it could be manifesting in your body as pain or your emotional body. And you just really reserve and pull back. And you have a hard time receiving love because you don't trust it. Because all of the love that you thought you could trust throughout your life, you found out was a lie or wasn't really love. Like, this is part of the awakening. The awakening is not an easy process. You know what I'm saying? It's a narrow road because a lot of people can't handle it. And so I'm realizing that our words aren't just swords, they're like fucking machetes. And you can do one or two things. You can take that machete and start carving a whole new path through the wilderness, or you could take that machete and like harm yourself or harm other people by projecting your core wounds onto other people. And so for those of us who do that, this come in the form of you being in arguments and just being argumentative, being overly defensive. You trying to like you're trying to be a happy person, but you find yourself getting angry over the smallest things. You know what I'm saying? For some of you, it's manifesting like that. So, I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is really crazy. I work so hard being vulnerable and letting the world just see me as is. No filters, none of that fake shit. Like, I study, I have insomnia. So a lot of times I'm just like, well, fuck it. I can't sleep anyway. I'm going to study. Like I really put in work. I really put in the hours. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really trying to stay true to this, even when it get hard. And I can't even enjoy the fruits of that labor. I can't even have one fucking moment of the day where I can just enjoy that moment without having to deal with these critical voices inside my head. It's crazy. So I'm like, this don't even make sense. I work hard to manifest my dream home. I have my dream home and I can't even fucking enjoy it. I work hard to manifest creating the type of family that I always wanted when I was a kid. And I'm creating that. I have that. And I'm not even enjoying it. Why am I not up doing some arts and crafts with the kids? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a rainy day, it's cold, and I'm in here fucking depressed. Or it was just crazy. I was like, what is going on? Y'all, I heard this loud and clear. They said, this is how they said it to me. This was the gods, the goddesses, ascended masters, whatever name you want to call beings that vibrate at a much higher frequency than us. They said, this is the issue with you humans. You, you, you are to us as 5-year olds are to you adults. And the 5-year old is excited because the 5-year old is learning something new, and the 5-year old just want to jump in with 2 feet. But as the adult, you're like, hold up. Let me teach you. First, let me teach you some lessons. And the 5-year old, like, no, I'm ready to jump. You told me to swim. Yeah, okay, but it's some things you need to learn before we actually put you in the ocean to swim. So like they were talking to me, and it wasn't like they was putting us down or nothing, but they was like, this is the thing with you all. You all don't have a healthy relationship with your humanity. And we are trying to teach you all how to have a healthy relationship with your humanity. So, yes, we are allowing these core wounds to come to the surface so that you are able to be that mayat, that balance, that harmony that the earth needs. And the only way we can get your attention is for you to feel these feelings that you don't like and to experience these triggers. We can't just give you an instruction or a channeled message and then you take it and just apply it, because it's like telling a 5-year old, okay, I've told you how to swim in this ocean, and you throw them out in the water. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. We have soul contracts with y'all to help y'all in the awakening process. So I know that you're frustrated, that you've been doing rituals, mantras, affirmations, magic, the overnight water glass manifestation. Like you really been trying to do all that you can, but there are some things that you have in your unconscious and subconscious that will cause you to manifest more chaos than is necessary for you to grow. And they were like, but unfortunately, there was a time period where we let you all go, and there wasn't any resistance. Whatever ritual you wanted to do, whatever magic you wanted to do, whatever affirmation you wanted to do, sigil, whatever you came up with to be able to create something in your reality that you desire, we took our hands off. And because at some point we do have to let you learn. So now you are in a time where you are feeling the effects of that. And because some of you are numb, disassociated, your soul is still in fragments, you know not what you do. But there is grace and there is mercy for you all. And they were like, we see the things that you all have experienced. And even some of the stuff that was so traumatic you can't remember, we remember. And so we're able to have grace and mercy with you all as we're helping you awaken and remember that you are sacred, sovereign, divine beings capable of co-creating your reality. But first, you have to experience whatever it is that you are reaping. It is a seed that you planted at some point. And I was like, wow. So I said, so is that why some of us aren't manifesting? It's to protect us? And it was like, yeah. It's not because you're doing it wrong, or it's not because you're not initiated. So you can't work with this netter. You can't work with this Orisha. It's not any of that, because the rules no longer apply. The rules are changing. Every second of the day, shit is changing. But the issue is you all don't go into your own darkness enough to be familiar enough with that darkness, so that when you do practice the art of manifestation, you're not going to manifest the very thing that you're trying to get out of your life. So they were basically like, stop trying to purge things out of your life that you have not learned all of the lessons for. Y'all go write it down, y'all. Stop trying to purge things, situations, relationships, finances, your health, like whatever you can think of to put in that spot. You're trying to purge something that has been put in your life to awaken you, to allow you to retrieve those parts of your soul that was lost when you were abused, neglected, traumatized, cast aside, bullied, treated like a nobody, when nobody understood you, when you felt all by yourself and alone and you in a house full of people, all of that, all of that. They were like, until you learn the lesson from whatever that situation is, that experience, it's not going to be purged, because that would be going back to being the people comfortable with the blue pill, living in the simulated reality of the illusions that everything is fine. That's not what y'all wanted. Those of you who resonate with this message, you all want to come out of the program that has enslaved humanity for way too long. And to come out of that, you must accept the lessons that are present with gratitude. If you cannot be grateful for the shit that caused you pain, you are not ready to manifest the things that you think will increase pleasure, because it won't. You will have the car of your dreams and not be able to enjoy it. You will manifest the spouse of your dreams and not know how to love them, because you did not first learn these lessons. And you've put so much effort and energy into purging the things out of your life that we are sending to help you. Y'all are in training. Y'all are gods in training. Y'all are goddesses in training. You all have had amnesia. Your memory was wiped when you incarnated into a 3D physical vessel. So as your memory is coming back to you, you must go through these lessons. You must go through the training. And I was just blown away, because I felt like something that maybe we were never supposed to know was coming through to me. And I knew this was going to be a big deal. So, of course, y'all had planned it all out. I was like, I'm going to do me some self-love rituals and, get my glow right and drink a whole bunch of water. So I'm just, filled with the spirit and ebbing and flowing. And I'm going to do this real cute video. And that was the plan. And they was like, y'all do too much of that already. Y'all too damn focused on aesthetics and the outside and how things appear to be. We need you all to focus on what things really are and not what they appear to be. So even though your life does not appear to be changing, as a result of you changing, it is. Stop focusing on the appearance. Okay? They were like, set your focus on what you know, because of the laws of the universe, what you know is going to manifest in your life. Hold on to that and be patient. It takes time. Because if we rush you through training, then we're going to have a lot of people who have learned how to manifest, who have learned how to be magicians and alchemists, and have learned how to transmute energy. But because it was rushed, because you all hate discomfort so much, it's like going to a city where everybody who got their license didn't have to pass the test. What kind of expressway you think that's going to lead to? And so this is how they was showing it to me. And they were like, we don't want y'all out here, you know what I'm saying, just fucking shit up. Because we know y'all intentions are good. But y'all jumped into the spiritual practices with so much zealousness. But the maturity necessary wasn't there yet. And the only way to gain that maturity alongside of the knowledge that you have received is through the training. So this is training, and this too shall pass. So whatever's going on in your life, know that it is not here to harm you, and it's not here to keep you stagnant. It is here to teach you so that you can purge these things from your life to never have to revisit again. For some of you, this came in the form of an ex all of a sudden professing they love. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, I don't know. Like, do I really want to do this again? You know, for some of you, like it's manifesting in different ways in our lives. And the way it manifests for you is connected to whatever your core wounds are. So, me not feeling like I deserve the things that I earned and worked hard for, that's my program. That is my subconscious program. I was raised by a narcissistic parent who happened to have also been someone who dealt with addiction and a lot of trauma. And so, as much as I love my mothership, I can't be in a relationship with my mothership because it's toxic. Okay. And sometimes true love comes in the form of being able to walk away, you know? That is love. And but we've been programmed to think that we have to express our love the way the program in society and our cultural upbringing says this is how you're supposed to treat your mama. This is how you're supposed to treat your daddy. This is how you're supposed to be with your siblings. Like it's all these fucking rules, but the people who taught us these traditions and rules, they can't even master themselves. They can't even they don't even have an understanding that they co-created every damn thing in their life because accepting that amount of accountability and responsibility is too much for them. And so I don't know if y'all remember, but we read to you all a snippet from the Functionary book. That Bobby Hemmett was the first one who introduced us to this book. And he talks about religion. And he talks about how for a lot of people, it's just the spiritual path is just way too much. It's more than they can handle. You know what I'm saying? And so that's not to put anybody down. It's just what it is. So your program is coming to the surface right now because our guides, ancestors, angels, demons, entities, spirit, animals, elementals, whatever it is that you resonate with and whatever you feel your star family that's helping you, like they don't want us to carry dead energy into 2020. So yes, in 2020 you still may have some of the issues you had this year, but the main ones that will alter your life's journey in a way that's opposite of what source and you know is right for you, that's the stuff that's coming to the surface. So the next few weeks of this year, because we're completing a decade, it's almost like it's crunch time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like crash course, spiritual awakening. That's what's happening. And so because we have been doing the manifestation on a collective level, we we increase the speed in which manifestation happens. So this is why for some people, like they're manifesting overnight or within hours or minutes, or think of somebody and they call, or say they need $1 and you literally walk in and find $1 on the ground. Like it's happening like that. But what you have to realize is when you begin awakening to being a god and a goddess, you're going to manifest from your subconscious mind as well. Your conscious mind is not the only mind that manifests. And so whether you're trying to or not, we're always manifesting something. So because of this crash course, because the veil is so thin, because realities are merging, because the illusion and the simulation is breaking down for the people whose hearts are really ready for this, you know what I'm saying? Because all this is happening, there are also, because we talked about the dark side of the portals opening, so there are also a whole lot of like entities who came through these portals and they are like kind of like bullying us, you know. Every energy is not here to help you, you know. It would be naive to think that. So that's just the way it is, you know what I'm saying? There's always going to be a pendulum swing, you know. Love and hate is actually the same thing, this but a different degree of it. So anything that is opposite of each other, it's really the same thing, just different degrees. Okay. because love requires passion and hate requires your passion. So the requirements and things like that would be the same, but your perception is being fine tuned to be able to see things from different aspects, multiple ways. And so because of that, we have to practice seeing that part of the glass that's half full. So for me today, before I spiral out of control, and I did put on a community page some steps that you can take to help you deal with this. If you hadn't read it yet, because I did it right before they told me, you need to go live. Like, they need this information now. Because tomorrow, y'all gonna have some experiences tomorrow that you manifested into your life, and it's going to seem like the experience is not going to get you to your highest self, but it really is. And so these entities, these energies, they're like tricksters. And it's like this thing happening where they want to make us seem unsure. They want to make you uncertain. They want to make you feel like you can't really fully trust what you've learned. They want to make you doubt that the path that you're on is the path that is required for your soul to complete its mission, and you don't have to incarnate again. These entities, they need to feed. So just like how a narcissist always wants to have a narcissistic supply, most narcissists never let themselves be out of supply. You know what I'm saying? If they even feel like somebody trying to cut them off or pull away, they finna be reaching back, doing everything they can to get you back in their life because they need that supply. And if they can't get you, they'll go get somebody else because they really don't give two fucks about what they do, how they treat people. It's just about them. They are void of empathy. Okay. All of us do have narcissistic characteristics. But if I'm not mistaken, according to the list, if you have 9 or more, then this is when you are basically a narcissist. It's not a few characteristic traits. This is the wholeness of the way you function. And so a lot of us do have narcissistic wounds that need to be healed. They also said, y'all need to realize true power is self mastery. A man who can master himself is more powerful than a man who can run a whole city. And that's actually connected to a scripture that I used to read all the time and ponder on. And I get that now. So the world can make it feel like someone who's a state representative or someone who's the mayor or the vice president or the secretary of state. It seems like those people are in a whole nother level that's higher. But in actuality, if you learn how to master your emotions and your thoughts, you are actually in a higher level than the highest level that you can attain in the 3D matrix. Because even some of those people have not learned to master themselves. They are master manipulators, and that's oftentimes how they got those positions. But they don't have self mastery. And this is why we hear these really weird, freakish things that people do behind closed doors, you know what I'm saying, who are in those positions. So, so moving forward from this, slow down, okay? Be patient with yourself. It's coming. But 2020, our God's source, the creative force of all things, in which everything is connected, wants us to not only know how to co-create, but to actually be able to enjoy what you co-create. And if you cannot have unconditional happiness and unconditional joy with where you are right now, something new coming into your realm of reality is not going to make you feel better. Okay? It's actually probably going to make you feel worse. And one thing that I know, like I still have a lot of surgeries and stuff that I need to get done from the botched dental work that I had received over the past few years, right? And so uh, 20 to 30,000 more dollars. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just kept having this feeling of you should be busting your ass. You should be working your ass off. You don't need to be taking no nap. You know, okay, so what, you in pain right now and it's raining outside. You need to be working. Like this voice, you say you want this and want that. You need to be working. You need to be working. You need to be working. And these are these entities that feed off of desperation. So please don't go into your, if you do a ritual, I'm not saying don't do any manifestation rituals. I'm not saying to stop practicing your spiritual practices to help get you to where you desire to be. But what I'm saying is make sure that you are self aware of not just what's going on in your conscious mind, but your subconscious mind as well. Because what happens is if you go into the manifestation activity that you choose to do, let's just say I would have did a manifestation activity today based on the fact that I know I need 15, 20,000 more dollars, right? So that I can be healthier and get a lot of the mercury and stuff, out of my teeth, right? Okay, so let's just say I would have done a ritual to try to receive that. Well, because in that moment I was in a lot of pain, because in that moment I was feeling the pressure, because in that moment I had this critical voice running through my brain that I could not put a leash on for shit. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't cut the volume down on it. And that means I would have been coming out of a place of desperation. And that's not the type of energy you should ever mix with your magic. And like nothing that you do to alter your reality should be done from a place of desperation or a place of lack, especially if it's a ritual for some form of abundance or fertility, right? And this time of the year is all about fertility. This is where the Christmas trees come from. I mean, a lot of us learned it when we first started learning about the paganism when we were in religion. It was like, dang, I don't want to have shit to do with Christmas no more. We actually did a video about it, and we did a whole breakdown of all of the pagan origins of Christmas. You know, it's funny how we really came full circle. Like, I really appreciate that. And y'all get to see that. That's why we do not take them videos down, and we will not ever remove those videos. Because some people may not get to where we are until 5 years, and they're going to need that. But so, okay, with that being said, you want to be careful about your workings right now, especially if you are not self aware, especially if you don't have a secure love attachment. Maybe you found out because you can do these quizzes to find out what form of love attachment you have. So let's just say you're dismissive avoidant or your anxious preoccupied love attachment, and you know that you don't have a secure love attachment, you're codependent. These are the impacts that our upbringing and even our relationships as adults and experiences had on us. Okay, so let's just say you're not even to a point where you even aware of what form of love attachment you operate with. Well, then a lot of chaos is going to be in the mix of any magic, any manifestation that you do because you don't know yourself. And you can't master yourself until you know yourself. So this is why it's so important. These triggers is the only way because a lot of us don't want to do the shadow work because a part of you feels you're not ready and you may not be. So this is why last night we recommended, we gave y'all the website and all the information. Make sure that you're ready for that part. If you're not, that's okay. Give yourself self-love, compassion, and patience. That's still having you do things. It's going to align you with your higher self to be able to live your best life. But that don't mean your life is going to be void of problems. So, so the guys was like, so I was like, so what can we do to get in alignment with source so that we can receive the things that we deserve and actually be able to enjoy them? And they were like, you can do that by appreciating everything that is in your present moment. Because if We give you this amount of money that you want, and it came out of a place of lack and desperation, fear, like all these negative feelings you was having in that moment. Well, because of the law of correspondence, that's exactly what you're gonna get back. So you're actually working, you're doing workings, and the workings are working against what you're trying to be working into your life. You know what I'm saying? So becoming self-aware, going into the shadows, allowing these compartments, because all of us have these compartments that were created in our minds. This is the way the mind keeps from completely breaking to pieces and shattering to where you can't function at all, and so as these compartments are unlocking, they are manifesting in your life. But know that these entities are waiting on your reaction to feed. So by being aware of that, you can be like, okay, this would normally make me cuss somebody out, but I realize that there are negative entities who want to be fed. I'm not going to do that this time. You may not be strong enough to do the complete opposite and pour burning heaping coals on their head, but you may just be able to have enough willpower to just walk away. And, that's still putting yourself in a position to where you're not disempowering your own self by responding to things in a way that's going to feed the negative entities, the thought forms, and these critical voices that have been recorded inside of our head. So this is where we need to shift our focus and our intentions, okay? Don't let somebody else's YouTube video on how fast they manifested something make you feel some kind of way about yourself. Because again, this is taking you in the opposite direction where you want to go. So they might be like, oh, I manifested a mansion in 2 months. How you can manifest a mansion in 2 months. But you're not hearing this is exactly what my guides told me. They was like, but y'all not hearing the part where a uncle had them in the will to have the mansion and he died, and they just so happened to have started scripting and journaling to manifest, and they thought that manifesting the mansion was purely because of them, when in actuality it was something that was already in the works anyway for them to receive, but they just so happened to have had a nudge and was doing that. So they was like, so don't let those videos make you feel like you're unworthy or you're doing something wrong in your workings because it's not working out for you that way. Most of the time, people are not going to tell you that part. They not going to be like, oh, we had a wreck 5 years ago and I completely forgot about it. The lawsuit finally went through and I got $1 million. They go do a video and say that it was because they started scripting to get the $1 million. And this is just because we have grown up in a culture and in a society that is very narcissistic. And we operate with these masks and these false self because that's what we needed to be able to maneuver through the 3D matrix and to survive and to cope and to be able to at least feel a little good about yourself, right? And so because metaphysics is becoming trendy, then people are like, this is the opportunity for me to create a YouTube channel and make a lot of money off YouTube. So they're not going to be completely honest with you, you know? And that's something that we try to make sure we bring on this channel is honesty and not just be showing y'all the good shit, but letting y'all see it all. Because life is made up of light and darkness. There is no separation. There yin and yang, divine feminine, divine masculine. And so I love, so if y'all get into this funk and you having a hard time coming out of it, I'm going to give you some teachers, gurus who we really like a lot to use to help us in the moment to alter our perceptions. So of course, one of those first people would be Abraham Hicks. Now, Abraham Hicks is a channeler, and especially for us, it was a little strange. We were like, what's going on? She's channeling somebody named Abraham, but she's a woman. It was confusing, like, what the hell? But don't worry about all that. Just listen to the message and take from it what resonates, right? Okay, she's really good at showing a different angle to you of a situation. That's what she does. So it's just like when you trying to take pictures and then you grab your children and you reposition them and the picture comes out a lot better. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. She repositioned where your attention is fixated so that you can see it differently, so that you can acquire a different outcome because your perspective has aligned itself with source to have that different outcome. The next person would be Matt Kahn. Matt Kahn, okay? Kahn, Kahn. His specialty is dealing with understanding why you are the way you are, the ego, and how to be on a path of spiritual awakening, but still have to deal with these very low vibrational situations and people and yourself. That's his specialty. And I mean, hands down, what the work that he's doing is just, it's phenomenal. And even while I'm saying this, my God, so like you all are just as phenomenal as these people. You all are a work in progress, and you don't have to rush it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like with the post office. If you want to get a package overnight, guess what? You're gonna have to pay more for it. So for those of us who have been trying to rush manifestation, what's happening in your life could be the payment that's required to give you that thing that you've been putting so much energy into manifesting. So this is another reason why you don't want to be trying to purge stuff out of your life that is there to give you what it is your heart desires. Okay? So yeah. Oh, that's real good. That is really good. I can't even say that again because I don't remember what I said. I just know it was really good. I just have to play this back and watch it. So the next person, let's see, who would I would say would next be one of the top people that we use? The next person that I would say is a big help with that would be definitely Dr. David Hawkins. Definitely Dr. Manly P. Hall. Those two for sure. So if you don't have a pen and maybe you at work or something, you can't jot this down, just go to the playlist. It's called Four Remnants Gathering. And it's going to have all of these people and some in there. It's over 740 videos. So it don't matter what you are experiencing, you will find in there what you need. Okay? Yes. So this is where we are. And one last thing before I finish that they want me to tell you is that the thing that is being purged right now on a collective level is judgment. Judgment. And the reason that we're because a lot of us are experiencing flaws at an all-time high, seem like, because you are judgmental towards yourself, right? And so, however extreme your judgments are of yourself that are really unfair, and it's not self-love, it's not self-compassion, you know what I'm saying? It's a program that you acquired through your abuse. Okay, so the reason why it's showing up so ugly and so often is because that's the level of healing that's going to be required. So however, if that wound is 6 feet deep, then you're going to be finding yourself in 6 feet triggers. The depth of your triggers are going to seem deeper. And it's because the core wounds are probably pretty deep. And it's being like dug up out of the unconscious and the subconscious mind to come into the conscious mind so that you can begin working through it. Okay? So we're being purged of judgment, self judgment especially. And I am a very judgmental person. I try not to be, but in my flawed self, I am judgmental. In my flawed self, if I see you walking up to my vehicle and you got on some busted up shoes and you might have holes in your clothes, I'm already in my mind thinking you're finna ask for some money. And it don't always be that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just a reflection of how judgmental I am towards my own self. So whatever you find yourself being judgmental about towards other people, know that that is a mirror reflection of how judgmental you are about your own self. Another reason that this is important, because a lot of us who went through religious programming, we were told that we were going to judge people and angels alike because we were the chosen people. And that put us in a vibration of spiritual pride and arrogance. And until pride always precedes destruction. So until we can be humble, and grateful and thankful, no matter what's going on, like this stuff is going to keep triggering you so that you can go ahead and give it the attention that it needs to heal. So, because a lot of us went through that programming, maybe we haven't canceled that contract. Maybe we secretly still feel that that false security, that it made you feel puffed up. It made you feel like you the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a judge. I'm a judge the whole world. He's sitting with Christ. Like, that's some terrible programming. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then on top of that, even though the Bible said, do not be judged, lest ye be judged, or the same measure of forgiveness and mercy that you give is what you go receive. Like, some of the stuff is right, you know what I'm saying, in certain contexts. But with the judgment part, we were expecting Judgment Day to arrive. And most of us felt like we were not going to be the ones that God was going to say, depart from me, you evil worker. I never knew you. Most of us did not feel like we was that person. Now, I went through a period of my life where I felt like it could go either way. You know what I'm saying? So we're being purged of those programmings because it keeps us separated. And it is blocking the energy of harmony and Mayat to return to earth. Okay? So there is the judgment is not going to go like we thought it was going to go. Okay, that judgment seat that we were talking about, taught about, that's happening within you, within each of us, and within the collective. Okay, so yes, we are experiencing a form of judgment, but do it in a way where it's not harmful to you or other people. So if some shit quacking like a duck is a duck, call it what it is. And so you're not passing self-condemnation on yourself. You're just acknowledging the fact, okay, I can be a bitch sometimes, or I'm an asshole, or that was wrong. That's the whole purpose of shadow work. That's the whole purpose. And so a lot of us are wanting to get into dark magic, but we hadn't even been able to know ourselves or even begin mastering ourselves. So no, you don't need to get into none of that right now. You need to learn how to master your own self right now. That is the focus. And so in order to do that, you have to be released of these harsh ass critical judgments on others and yourself. The new earth, the new heaven coming to the new earth, it will not be populated with judgmental people. So this doesn't mean we're going to disappear soon as we figure this out collectively and finally get over this particular obstacle. It doesn't mean we're going to leave here physically and go to another earth. What that means is we'll be in the same space and time, but not on the same dimension of consciousness. And so the only people who are going to be raised to heaven, right? You know what I'm saying? Raptured. The only people are the people who have allowed themselves to be purged of all judgments towards themselves and others. Okay? So the new heaven and the new earth will be populated with people who have learned how to be non-judgmental and to harness the energy of love and just walk in it. And this don't mean that you don't discern. This does not mean that you ignore red flags. This does not mean that you give people the benefit of the doubt and that you treat your enemies like your friends. This don't mean that, okay? This just means you stop passing condemnation and you stop being overly critical to yourself to the point where it handicaps you and it paralyzes you and keeps you in a vibration of fear and lack and I'm not good enough and nothing is never good enough. You know what I'm saying? We got to be purged of that because a lot of us were judged by our parents growing up a lot, and even in adulthood. And so we got to be purged of that pain. So we got to stop giving it as well. You know what I'm saying? And once you stop feeding a particular thought, vibration, energy, entity, it's going to die because you're starving it to death. So them type of thoughts, express them, follow the steps that I posted so that you can begin working through that stuff and healing it. It's okay to be in a low vibration. It's okay if you got stuck and it seemed like you was like that all day or a week or a month. It's nothing wrong with that. That's your journey, your path. However, know that if you have come to the understanding of your consciousness awakening, it is your responsibility to learn how to shift your vibration. Okay? So we cannot, because this is specifically what they said to me, and y'all can write this one down too. They said, you all want to enjoy the fruits of a god and a goddess, but you don't want to accept the accountability of a god and a goddess. And I was like, wow. So they were like, in order for you to fully awaken and to become your higher self, you must first accept the responsibility and be accountable for everything that is in your life today, whether it's good and you like it or it seems harmful. You called that thing into your life. You invoked whatever that is into your life in some shape, form, or fashion. So y'all got excited. It was like really good news to find out, wow, I'm a sovereign divine being. I'm sacred. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, I am the extension of source. I'm a co-creator. That y'all got excited about that because y'all went through so much delusion of tradition and religion. But y'all forgot, to much is given, much is required. And if you cannot find a way to experience joy, peace, and happiness unconditionally right now, nothing that we assist you all in receiving will ever give you what you think is going to give you. You have to learn how to harness the feeling before the situation reflects the feeling. So before you get whatever it is you're trying to get, you have to be able to live as if. And so this means already have the feeling, practice having the feeling of being proud of yourself, of loving yourself. Have the feeling of being successful. Practice having that feeling. Find something throughout your day to feel good about, where you can say, you know what, I may not have succeeded at finding a new job, but I did a good ass job with paying attention to how I talk to my kids. You know what I'm saying? Or I could have popped off today at work and I didn't. Find something that you are proud of yourself about and know that that is a big deal. And it don't matter how big it is in comparison to someone else's, whatever their thing is. But the whole social media thing is social engineering, that these entities sit behind these computer screens in our phones and they feed off of that. So when you're on there scrolling your timeline and it seems like everybody is having a baby and you can't get pregnant, seems like everybody getting married and you can't even secure a good relationship, like as that shit is happening, you are feeding the entities that run social media, social engineering, right? And your energy is being harvested. And so that's why your vibrations start going down, because you are being drained by vampiric parasites. So remove yourself from a situation. Put the phone down, or put the laptop down, whatever it is, and be like, you know what? I don't even need to be putting myself in the mix of that right now because this got me feeling some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, put it down, you know? And if y'all take this to heart and follow these steps, you're going to find yourself trusting yourself more. You're going to find yourself feeling more confident in your path and who you are and that you are. Nothing is going to stop you. It don't matter how much you have to keep fucking up. It don't matter how long it's taking. Stay focused on the end result, okay? You will absolutely get and become who you know you were put here to be and the things you know that you are here to do. And nothing can stop it. When divinity aligns itself with source, whether you have a plan or not, just being in alignment is going to make sure that that happens. Okay? So I don't know who this was for, who needed this, but if this resonated with you and it touched you, please share this with somebody you think need this message. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I love y'all so much. I really do. And I feel the love, and it helps me to do videos like this and be super vulnerable, like, because y'all are so receptive and just so positive and loving and honest and willing to be vulnerable. The emails, we read them all, the comments, like, we want this community to be a place that's free of judgment. And that's why we created that practice of permission to confess whatever it is you feel and thinking or being in that moment without judgment. That is one of the most spiritual things a person could do, you know. So learn how to create that sacred space for yourself. Acknowledge yourself. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself the pats on the back that you didn't get from others. Those of you who feel like people don't appreciate you, give yourself that appreciation. And I really had to take this to heart. And I had to really just look at myself in the mirror today and say, you know what? I love you. And I appreciate you for being so strong and going through everything that you went through, and you're still positive. Like, you still find a way to take something beautiful out of the beast in your life and give it to other people. I had to tell myself that. And so I just want to say thank y'all. And just know that whatever greatness you see in me and Ernest, it's because the same greatness is inside of you. You know, none of us are above the other. And there soon will come a day where people who are in religion are like, just on a collective level, gonna be like, damn, them weirdos is like, I don't know, it's something to this. Like, I don't know, even though I thought she was worshiping Satan, like, she make me feel comfortable. And I feel like I can talk to him. Or I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people gonna start, I'm telling y'all, 2020, people are going to start noticing how different we are. And this will be the people who were not the front line, because a lot of us was called first out of our bloodlines because we agreed to be on the front line of it. But as we go on and time goes on, yes, people are going to see the fruits in your life. People are going to see the way you carry yourself and treat people. And I mean, come on, like, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The proof is always going to be up in the pudding. So I love y'all. Thank you so much. And y'all, let's try to get out of this place of lack. Let's stop doing magic out of desperation. You know what I'm saying? It's causing more harm than benefit. And let's just focus on mastering ourselves. And in doing that, you are opening yourself up to the limitless blessings that are available for each and every one of us. Okay? All right. We love y'all. And good night. Good night. Oh, and somebody sent a donation. It was the biggest donation we ever received. And they didn't even want anything in return. I'm so used to giving, being a martyr. I'm like, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything I can give you? And they were like, no, I'm good. I just wanted to show y'all love, that I appreciate what you all are doing. So whoever that was, thank you. And whoever has given a donation, thank you. And whoever is considering it, thank you. I just want to give you the thank yous and the ashes now. We appreciate y'all because it does help us to keep doing this, what we do. Okay? All right. So as always, man, your third eye has just been kissed. Good night, y'all.